Done our dough, chaps. We've done our dough.
Hello and welcome to week 17 of Odds, the racing and betting show where we preview the upcoming Caulfield Guineas meeting this week. So, getting straight into it, last week wasn't very good betting from me, I have to say. It was a good meeting split across Melbourne and Sydney, but the track at Flemington I found was pretty tough and also just some bad choices. So, looking back at it, price tag, no good. That scary race, we got the trifecta, which was good. Red Aces was tough in second. Good stay, that will feature in good races to come. And that win at Keenaland at $9.60, that blew out quite a lot, but represented really good value. Scary in for third. Sorry, we got the Quinella in that race. De Clichy Boulevard second. Marajan was scratched and safer this week. They saw the wet track and they wanted Caulfield instead, which I think is a good sign because it's running today at 40-1. Mostly cloudy, no good. Reserve Bank was a good second. A Tissue, no good. A lot of horses sort of got stuck on that, sort of paddling on that track. I mean, Buckaroo and Via Sustina made amazing ground, but not too many of them did. Scarippa was no good. Missed out on Just Fine. That was something that was really in the mix if it could find its best form. Great leading ride, just didn't find it. Sydney, lucky with King Kirk, that blew out in the market. It was around about 380 when I was looking at it on the Thursday, and then on the Saturday I ended up paying around 7 or 8, which is pretty crazy. Death of Character, no good. Pleasure Artist, very good. We got a place dividend at 5 back there. Lady Shenandoah was good in winning. Miss Bustlinger was a outsider that came nowhere. Think About It was no good. Same with K Tempesta, Immediacy. The money came late for Wolf. That was a huge go. So if you were watching at the time, that started to make a lot more sense. The closer that race sort of came around. Tom Kitten was good in second. We had that. Arctic Glamour nowhere. So we ended up getting back $37.77, which, look, it's all right considering I don't think it was a real super winning possibility for us. But yeah, just happy to sort of get that and roll on. The Sport was a wasted one. Did the NRL. Funnily enough, got the most outsiderish leg with the anytime try scorer at 225, but didn't get Storm and didn't get the player A or B to score a try. So poor betting. Should have stuck with Penrith with Taruva, and yeah, didn't get a bonus bet back. So that really hurts. So this week we're going to put the Sport on pause just because there's no footy and there's no NRL. So we'll just focus on the racing. Okay, so getting right into it. Race 1 is a skip, purely because we've run out of money in allocating the 50. And it's not that great a race anyway. Race 2, okay, so 1200 metres, 2-year-old open fillies. There's a few here vying for favouritism. And they're all coming off vastly sort of different form lines. Erdo's Cube's been running in really good races in Sydney, high-class races running on, paying 5. I Am Velvet's coming off that win at Caulfield, where it was very wayward, very green, but obviously very talented and won, beating Dom. Kuroya Nagi, a bit similar to Erno's Cube, coming off some decent sort of listed grade races. Third here in the big Group 1 behind Hayasugi. Symphony of Colour, I really liked in its recent runs at Flemington. That's paying 15. But yeah, I'm not sure whether that is going to actually need a bigger track or whether it could do well here, but that's definitely over the odds. And Keepsake, $5.50 coming off a 6-length trial win at Ararat. I feel like have a look at race 1. If it is a run on track, I think the quality of Erno's Cube will be huge. The Barrier 9's good, it can go straight back. Coming off those 2 close-up runs in Group 2, I mean, behind Amina, behind Autumn Glow, that's excellent. City horses do tend to struggle at Caulfield first time around, so that's a bit of a consideration, but I would be doing, with the offers of bonus bets back second and third, I'll do something on Erno's Cube. You could definitely do Keepsake. I quite like Mem's Choice, number 11. It's had the one run at Bairnsdale. Made a lot of ground, really good acceleration, came from 11th at 1. Sort of the way that it won was very impressive. I like that it's Peter Moody stable. And yeah, I think the 34 for the win 7th place is very, very generous. So something each way on that. Something each way on Erno's Cube. And then Quinellas and Trifectas, 1 Erno's Cube, 5 Symphony of Colour, 11 Mem's Choice, 12 Keepsake. And then outside of that, I'll just be interested if Blackberry Bomb can sort of bounce back at the 70-1 and maybe run into a place. Out of Brazen Bow, I mean, many horses don't handle the straight at Flemington, and also there was a soft track. It might be, hasn't run on good, so who knows? Could be really well suited. And watch out for Symphony of Colour at 15s. Kuroyanagi, I mean, it makes a lot of sense. I'm just going to leave it. You just can't take everything. So yeah, that's race 2. Race 3, the Northwood Plume Stakes, 1200 metres, 4-year-olds and up, Group 3. Yeah, a little deep's the favourite. The form you can't fault. The win over Arkansas Kid looks really good. It's sort of just a matter of, is it going to continue on? Charmstone, if it's back to its best, is really good value at 10, but first up after 336 days and barrier 12, yeah, I mean, that's a bit of a risk. I think Extra 2's been going along really well, sort of under the radar. It was a decent 5th making a lot of ground behind Kundalini. Second here, but before that against Quintessa. Like, I think that from barrier 8, with J-Mac on board, will get a good run. It's sort of under the radar at 7s. So I'm quite keen on that. Moe shows really good value at 19s. The form last prep was good. It's sort of getting up to the distance at, the same distance, but second run in, I think it'll be suited. And then also Bezo, the form's been really good. Archie Alexander stable. It's sort of ambled up to them at Bendigo in a much weaker race, but for a place from barrier 1, that looks good. So Extra 2, probably the main one for me. And then Quinellas around 9, 12, 13 Aviatrix, probably suited from barrier 4 and 15. So 9, 12, 13, 15, watch on Charmstone. And you could definitely go a little deep. I'm just choosing to neglect it today. Race 4, Catnac's 150 years, Vars, 1600 metres, 4-year-olds and up, Group 3. There's a couple here around that $4.55 mark vying for favouritism. I really like Lady Jones. I think that it's just, like Extra 2 in the previous race, it's just ticking over nicely. A really good second last time in that race in Moonee Valley. Went past Grinzinger Bell, who had won really well previously. Good barrier 3. I think that's the logical one. City of Lights, yeah, it was a decent run in Newcastle, but like, that form to me is not as good. Caulfield for the first time. I know it's got barrier 1 with J-Mac on board. That's quite good, but I'll stick with Lady Jones. There's a few here at, Grinzinger Bell's back again. That's going to probably go up to the lead, could get a good run, $4.60. I'll be putting that in Quinellas and tries. Vibrant Sun is really good value. Second up, gets up to the distance range out of the Autumn Sun, likes dry ground. So the 17's great there. And then Private Legacy, number 10. The form's a lot better than what it suggests, and it's a really decent sort of staying horse. So each way Lady Jones, and then Quinellas and trifectas around 1, Vibrant Sun, 2, Grinzinger Bell, 7, Lady Jones, and 10, Private Legacy. Moving on rapid fire to race 5, the Weekend Hustler 400 metre listed. Yeah, I really like, back Jimmy Star last week, I really like it as a horse. I just feel like it's going to need a lot to go right, and I don't know if the $2.10 is any value whatsoever. I know there's a promo with Tab that you can get $5 about it, which I would still do at those odds, but yeah, the 210's a bit crazy. I've backed the Inferno a lot lately, and I'm going to have something on it each way just out of allegiance and just not wanting to miss out if it did win at 20-1, but at the same time, I don't think it will. Griff is really good value, number 1 at 34. I've mentioned previously Trapeze Artist. I'm very keen on any horses out of that. I think they tend to be very talented. I think that he's just running some really quality races, and this is very winnable. It's won here before, 1 from 1, likes good tracks. It's a real hit and miss sort of thing. He sort of either wins or just runs nowhere. So I'd have something on Griff. Similar story, Cirileo Miss, loves Caulfield, loves dry ground. It just sort of, if it's back to its best, it'll be really good. So they're both excellent value. Von Hawk at 15s is good second up. Hasn't really done anything here so far, but that could change. Savannah Cloud, sort of ditto. I'll be doing a Quinella around those. Who Dares is in good form, but I'll have to leave that out. And Run Harry Run's the other one. I think is just, it ran in that Group 1. It got a taste of sort of the big leagues. Third recently at Caulfield behind Another Will, which is, great form because that's favourite for the Toorak. So from barrier 5, I think that's a big go at $10. So each way on Griff, each way on Run Harry Run, and then Quinellas around 1 Griff, 2 Cirileo Miss, 4 the Inferno, 9 Von Hawk, 10 Savannah Cloud, 14 Run Harry Run. Pretty wide, but it's the sort of race for it. Race 6, the Herbert Power. This is really open, and it's really funny because Gear Up's been running well recently, but it's not, to me, it's not the kind of horse that should be favourite in a race like this. Like, if it's going to win, it'll probably win when it's a bit of an outsider, or it'll win in the Queensland Carnival in those like weaker staying races. Sort of same for Post Impressionists. I can see that being suited on a bigger track at Flemington or something. I don't think Caulfield here from barrier 13 is the go. So this is a race where there's a lot of value, actually. I think you can look past both of those. Marijan was saved for this from last week. They didn't like the wet track, and it's great on dry. It's a really good horse over 2,000, 2,400. Caulfield probably doesn't suit, but at those odds of 40 to 1 on fixed and $10 for the place, that's a gift. So I'll be doing something on Marijan. Really like Herman Hess's win last time at Mornington. It was really tough leading all the way. I know that it's, a different story today, but this isn't a really strong race. And from barrier 1, could go straight to the lead. If it's a Caulfield leader's track, I mean, that's another bonus. It loves dry, so that's an obvious one. Commando Drift could run into a place at 50 to 1. That form isn't too bad. It's definitely a place getter rather than a winner. And then Hurricane's the boom horse in this. Like, it's won half of its races. It's gone through the grades. Just looks like a really capable horse on the up with a light weight. So I wouldn't say it's a absolute lock or anything like that, but it's definitely something from barrier 6 for multiples. So for me, each way but more the place on Marijan, something on Herman Hess, and then something on Hurricane. Probably do Herman Hess and Hurricane with the bonus bet back promos, and just do Marijan with the best odds you can find. So Quinellas and Trifectas around 2, Marijan, 9 Herman Hess. Probably throw in 10 Dashing Duchess just for, because it's sort of, people might have forgotten about it after that 7th in its recent start. 14 Commando Drift and 15 Hurricane. But yeah, interesting race. I doubt those favourites will win. Race 7, the Might and Power. This is, I'm just going to sum this up in a sentence. Brightside doesn't seem to have a great record on paper at the 2000, but this just looks weak on paper. So it seems like a Brightside win, but yeah, if something at big odds can win, it'll blow the quaddie out. If it was like a Vow and Declare or a Carlapore. I've backed a Tissue a lot lately. Feel like it's better suited at Flemington, but this is the distance it wants. It could be the race that it wants. It's really only got to overcome Mr. Brightside, and then it should win. So I'll just be taking those two in the quaddie, even though that's what everyone will be doing, and you want to be right when everyone else is wrong. You want to get the value when a favourite goes down. So there's probably not, the quaddie won't pay anything if Mr. Brightside wins, because there'll be so many people having it one out, but that's the nature of the game. So I'll have something for the win on Brightside, just to make use of the second or third promo. Yeah, Trifecta 1 and 5 into 1 and 5 into field, and it's a good race to watch. Hopefully Brightside just chalks up another win. Getting onto the Guineas, what would I say here? Well, Sydney horses at Caulfield first time, always a bit sus. Broadsiding's wins have been good lately. The recent win, it made up a lot of ground in that Golden Rose, where a lot of other horses didn't from back in the field. It's probably better on wet, and today it's got to deal with good, but in saying that, it had one of its recent wins on good was by over 4 lengths, so it's definitely capable. Barrier 9's probably a little bit of a concern. The $1.55's too short in a Group 1 for sure, but it is an objectively better horse than a lot of these. I think that Ruta Royale will struggle. Mayfair might be in the same boat a little bit. Public Attention was really good last time. Don't know what to make of the track that day at Caulfield. It was a bit funny, but Public Attention was wide, bailed on really well. From barrier 4, that could be a really good place getter. I really like Wanaruah. I think the form's been really good. Waterhouse and Bott, after just fine last week, are back in top form. I think that they're very good with front-running horses, and I can see this just going to the lead, getting an easy lead, and it looks very tough to run down. It was hard to lead last time at Caulfield, and it did a very good job of it, only sort of getting done by under a length. So I'm very keen on Wanaruah. I think that in a race without a lot of obvious leaders, that will go forward. That will be really tough to run down. 26 is a real gift. I'd much rather that than the 750 of Mayfair or Angel Capital. Evaporate's done nothing wrong, has looked really good, so the 14s or the 15s is overs there. I've backed horses like Tropicus lately, Private Life, they're also value. Feroce is way overs at 50 to 1. Those runs haven't been that bad. It was just as close up at Caulfield as Public Attention was. Yeah, quite capable. So for me, there's a promotion with broadsiding $4 on the tab. I'd have something on that. I do Wanaruah each way, and then trifectas around broadsiding, 1, 6 Wanaruah, 8 Feroce, 9 Tropicus, 11 Private Life, and also 3 Evaporate. So I do something like, rather than just boxing them all, I do something like Wanaruah as a roving banker, and then roll the others through, or do it with brights, with broadsiding. But yeah, the Guineas can often be dicey, outsiders can bob up, so I'm quite keen on Wanaruah. Be interesting to see if broadsiding just is better than them all, but yeah, that's the story. Moving on to race 9, Scalacci Stakes. This is cool. Stapati's coming off sort of undervalued prep where it didn't do much. It's had a trial win, $19, really good value. Kalos recommendation, Mornington, well actually no, not Mornington Glory. Kalos recommendation, they're sort of your Group 2 Caulfield type of horses. Star Patrol, obviously back after a long layoff, but a really good horse out of Star Spangled Banner when it was running around. Bellatrix Star with nothing on its back, out of Star Witness. The wins have been great. I didn't think it would win last start, and it did, so I think it could easily run into a place here and probably will. I'm going to stick with Mornington Glory. The form's been great. Great win at Moonee Valley in the Moya. If it's a leader's track especially, extra keen on it. Not as keen on recommendation. And Oscar's Fortune has been good in those Perth and Adelaide races behind good horses, 2 lengths behind Benedetta. I think that's very good too. So Quinnella's around 1, Oscar's Fortune, 2 Mornington Glory, 5 Stapati, and 9 Bellatrix Star. Trifecta's the same, and each way bet on Mornington Glory. Race 10, the Group 1 Toorak. This one, I found it quite hard. I think it's a big step up for another Will from listed grade to just suddenly go and win this. Could do it, but I quite like, well, not really quite like, I mean, I only have small bets on this, but I think Desert Lightning and Antino are like the obvious ones, but I mean, from running third in a 4-horse race behind Pride of Jenny doesn't necessarily mean you are an automatic favourite in a Group 1 like this and are going to win. So I would have something on probably Antino if I had to pick each way. Try and get a bonus bet back if it's possible. And then Quinnella's and Trifecta's 1, Desert Lightning, 3 Antino, 9 Craig, and 13 Wishlaw Lass. I think Wishlaw could run into a place with that lightweight, but I'd just be sticking with the sort of the top, the big dogs at the top. So Antino, and I'll just watch another Will Go Round. So that does it for Caulfield for the 50. Recapping where we are, after week 16 last week, we only got back $37.77. So we are around about 24% up on racing, and we're only about 12 or 14% up on sports. So leaving that aside, up 180 in cash on racing, up 43 on sport. For an overall, we're just under 20% return. So still good, but the last few weeks have sort of dipped us down. So let's see how we go. And leaving sport aside this week. Great day's racing. I wish you the best of luck. Let's see how the Caulfield track plays. If it's a leader's track, it might make things a bit simpler with some of those races. I would sort of not go too hard on broadsiding or bright side for that matter, even though it looks really obvious. And I would just, monitor how the track's going through the day. Look at a few of those outs. Well, ones at about 8-1, like Extra 2, Lady Jones early on. Try and put up a little bit of bank. Watch out for Maharajan at the 40-1. Let's see how Hurricane goes. And Wanaruah in the Guineas, especially for the place. Have a great day. This is week 17, signing off.
And then came Sweet Liaison as they turned for home. Jefferson, he's been in front every inch of the way. He's out like 2.